I'm Anthony Howard. Welcome. Governments around the world are scrambling to find ways to limit the spread of the coronavirus. Many have imposed restrictions on people's movements. Italy is in its fourth week of strict nationwide lockdown. While this might be helping in the fight against the coronavirus, it is also bringing the country's economy to its knees. With people losing their jobs and earnings, fears are mounting that in Italy, dissatisfaction could quickly turn into unrest.
Italy's streets, empty, like they have been for the past 3 weeks. Police are on patrol to ensure citizens only leave their homes when strictly necessary. The lockdown has altered daily life in Italy and brought the country's economy to a halt. All non-essential businesses have had to shut down. Many people have lost their jobs or have seen their salaries cut. Some are now unable to afford even the basics. Authorities and individual citizens have stepped in, handing out meals to those in need. But these initiatives are hardly enough, and the risk of social unrest in Italy is growing. The mayor of Naples has warned that the lockdown can't continue indefinitely.
We will soon need something close to normal economic activity. Otherwise, not only will we have thousands of coronavirus deaths, but we will also have millions of unemployed. Organized crime will step in, it can spend money, and it can spend it faster than the government.
In Sicily, police are patrolling supermarkets after reports of shoppers refusing to pay. Italy isn't the only nation where the lockdown is hitting the poor hardest. It might again prove to be an example of what's to come in other countries paralyzed by the coronavirus crisis.
Well, for more, we're joined from Rome by correspondent Zima Gupta. Zima, how serious are fears that the longer the lockdown goes on, the more this time could foster crime and/or unrest?
Yes, I mean, the concern really is, as that package pointed out, when you look at the entire country, the concern is more in the south, and that's because the south is traditionally the poorer part of the country. It has higher incidence of unemployment, and it's also where you have the presence of those organized crime gangs, groups that are ready to take advantage of very desperate people. So we understand that factories are closed, businesses are failing and suffering. Even those who are involved in clandestine, illegal work, that's dried up. And they don't actually have access to any of those benefits. It's not as easy for them. And so you have these reports of supermarkets where people are just going in and taking the food. And so the police have to stand out there to make sure that doesn't happen. You've got reports of people begging at banks for loans because they need money to survive. So this can lead to other issues of social tension and unrest. And it's precisely in such a situation that you have these organized crime gangs stepping in, the mafia, where experts who study these groups say that, you know, they've got the liquidity, they've got the money now to offer very unreasonable loans or offer these loans in exchange for recruitment into their criminal activity. On top of that, they could be tapping into the need that people have for protective gear and selling that equipment for more money.
Zima, Italy has long had a sharp north-south divide. How is the crisis playing out differently across these different areas of the country?
Well, when you look at the health response, I mean, up north, that's where the biggest cluster is, where we're seeing the biggest emergency. But that traditionally is where you have a world-class health system. Down south, it's not as well equipped. And there is concern that if the clusters were to explode there, it could potentially be really dangerous. Now, we're already seeing increasing cases in regions like Campania, where Naples is located, as well as in Puglia and in Sicily. And the hospitals there are not as well equipped. And the authorities there are saying they need more protective gear. They need those masks. They need the goggles and all the equipment that come to protect those who are currently working to help those that have been infected. Their key concern is also the presence of the virus in care homes for the aged, where the vulnerable are. And those working there also need that protective gear. So the authorities are asking the central government for that.
Zima Gupta in Rome. Thank you so much.